That mademoiselle is returning. How naive. Negotiations are over, mademoiselle. Once again, I ask that you let me pass. Let me extract the king without issue, and then shall be on our way. I warn you, the protesters are getting rowdy. Any moment now, they might charge on their own accord. Your commitment to pacifism is admirable, but you're brimming with naivete. Mademoiselle, be on your way. I warned you your methods were too passive. Oh. I warned you that your methods were too passive, madame. That foul voice. Show yourself, Wolf. You! You're the friar who gave me the tip-off about the croque monsieur. Was my information no good, Inspector? Did I not say how and when you could reach the croque monsieur? You omitted a few details. Your words almost killed a few acquaintances of mine. Well, Inspector, it seems that you and I agree on something. This Wolf has a forked tongue. There's no need to direct your hatred at me, madame. I came here to give you a gift, a peace offering. You have nothing to offer me. I most certainly do. Did you know the tunnels of the sleeping city wind straight under the Palais de Justice? It's true. If one were to put enough gunpowder in the right spot, one could even take an entire side of the building down. What are you prattling on about? How much gunpowder do you think it would take, madame? 50 kilograms? 100? Maybe 200, just to be safe. Friar, tell me you didn't. The fuse is lit. In 26 seconds, the pillars of the Palais de Justice will fall like the Temple of Dagon. Running will do you no good, you brother-killing pute. You're bluffing. There'll be no explosion. You'd like that to be the case, wouldn't you, Inspector? But unfortunately for you, the Viridian killer emerges one last time. You! I must congratulate you, JJ. No? Falcon, you argued excellently. I'm as unsure of the Penguin's fate as you are, but one thing is for certain. You could not have done your job any better. Thank you, Cocorico. After a small amount of deliberation, we have come to a decision. We find the defendant, King Louis Philippe, to be... Mon Dieu, what was that? An explosion! It sounded like it came from right outside. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but well, in a manner of speaking, how to put this? For pity's sake, spit it out, monsieur. Rebels! It's the rebels! There was a big explosion at the entrance, and the rebels are pouring into the building as we speak. You heard the rabbit. Everybody clear out. Your Honor, quickly, what was the verdict? Really? In a time like this? There is no better time. Exile. Now get out of here. Court is adjourned. That doesn't sound like I did a good job. A valiant effort, JJ. Falcon, but we're out of both time and options. If the rebels want the king so badly, they can take him. You can't say that. The rooster's got a point, Falcon. Let's just turn the king over and let him receive his dues. We've done all we can. What are we doing, Falcon? No. You two give up far too easily. Sparrowson, Cocorico, we're escorting the king to R&M Associates. Renard's place? What can he do? If anyone has the power to make the king disappear, it would be that conniving fox. Yeah, that might just work. Come along, your majesty. Oh dear. Come on, Cocorico, no time to dawdle. I'm staying. For there to be any chance of your ridiculous plan succeeding, someone must stay behind to delay the rebels. Cocorico. Go, I've got this. Good luck. That wolf nearly killed the lot of us. You're the one harboring the king. It's a pleasure to see you again, madame. Don't get snarky, where is he? You're too late. The king has long left the building. For all I know, he could be halfway to Guadeloupe by now. So he's already gone. There goes my opportunity to enact justice. Enact justice? You should have seen the trial, madam. Everything was official, professional, and logical. It was the most brilliant display of justice I've ever seen. But the king is in the process of receiving a fitting punishment. Cocorico, did my father receive a fitting punishment when you were the prosecutor at his trial 10 years ago? No, madam. But every day since then I've strived towards justice, and I shall continue to do so for the rest of my days. Ah, see that you do. Ah. Do hurry up, your majesty. This is taking forever. You aren't going any further. Oh, sorry. You aren't going any further. It's the friar! I'm not going to let you take another step towards the king. I didn't come here for the king. I came to kill you, J.J. Falcon. Very well. Sparrowson, take the king and hurry to Renard's. I'll handle this monster. Are you sure you'll be okay? I can handle one crippled wolf. Okay, come on, Your Majesty. That explosion at the courthouse. That wasn't just the rebels, was it? Heh, of course not. That was to take out the murderous pupil who killed my brother, Madame Beaumont. She was the madam who pulled the trigger, but it was your words that sentenced him. And I would do it again. You and your brother are heinous individuals. Call us what you like. It doesn't matter anymore. Your blood must pay for this. An eye for an eye. That is the way of the judges of old. Well, I mean, if you want to think about the law, it was actually a limitation because people were going further and further with revenge. So that law was put in place so it's to limit the revenge. And then Jesus came along. He actually said the reason that was in was to put the limit. So I say no more eye for an eye. When either man hits you, you should turn another cheek. You know that stuff. But I mean, you're only a friar. You wouldn't know theology. You don't appear armed. I don't need a gun or sword to kill you. There are 100 kilograms of gunpowder beneath our very feet. One more step, and this entire area will go. Vile scum. Inspector, just in time. You look a little singed. Did you hear that explosion, Monsieur Fulpez? I did. I see the rumors are true, Massey. The revolution is in full swing. Go on, get in there. Visitors, Monsieur Fulpez. Visitors. I wonder who... Oh my, King Louis Philippe. Good afternoon, Your Majesty. Are you... Monsieur Fulpez? I am, and this is my companion Mousy. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Your Majesty. I must admit, I rarely have a gentleman of your caliber in this office. Please have a seat. Mousy, fetch His Majesty some tea. Right away. I hear you can make people disappear. Ah, yes, a new identity, a new face. Indeed, I can make that happen. Of course, there is a price. How much? Normally, such a service would cost 10,000 francs, 100 francs. But for you, Your Majesty, I was reading ahead, 10,000. 10,000 francs? I don't carry that sort of money on my person. Oh, I'm sure you can find a way. That crown on your head and egg in your hand would surely be enough to pay for this exquisite service. You're a crook, Monsieur Vulpez. Now, let's not call each other names. We are both grown men. Now let's see, you'll need a disguise. Ah, here we go. Go put this on. How do I look? Mousy, could you come in here for a moment, please? What is it, Monsieur Fulpez? Oh, who is this cockatoo? Where did King Louis Philippe go? You see, Your Majesty? It's that convincing. Of course, but we'll have to give you a new name and identity to match your new look. We need a name that is original, yet ordinary, subtle, yet exquisite. John Smith? Brilliant, Mousy. Monsieur, your name is now John Smith. You're an upstanding English gentleman. Je m'appelle John Smith. That's not good. You'll have to work on your English accent. Repeat after me. My name is John Smith. My name is John Smith. Don't blame me, that's how it's written. Wow, did you grow up in London, Your Majesty? Your accent is impeccable. Really? Tell him, Mousy. I didn't understand any of it, so it must have been perfect English. Disguise, name, accent. I think we're all set. Are you ready, Mr. Smith? I don't think so. Of course you're ready. Flee, monsieur, flee. Take a horse to Calais, and from there, hire a boat to take you to the shores of England. Do you think you'll make it to England, Monsieur Fulpez? With that disguise, Mousy, I think our client will be lucky to make it down the street. Come on, let's return this egg to Sautin. A new day. Okay. I thought that would be I thought that would have ended there. Maybe we're having a little conclusion here in the AA office. This is. Come on, bird brain, time's a wasting. Well, 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 look who finally decided to get up. Give me a break. My legs are killing from running all over Paris. Besides, we just had the case of a century. I think we're allowed one day to relax. Let's play some Jacques Noir. No, look at this stack of mail we have to reply to. Mail? Inspector Valerti has asked us to sign off on some paperwork regarding the death of Frere Remus. Remu. Cocorigo wants to arrange a lunch meeting to discuss potential future collaborative projects. And Madame Beaumont has asked to help us establish a constitution for the Second Republic, if you can believe that. Plus, we have like a dozen requests for legal work from other citizens of Paris. I guess word has gotten around about our involvement in the King's trial, huh? Mon Dieu. So much to do. But all I want is to take a holiday. Hey, Falcon, do you think we're about to see some changes? Changes? The old king is gone, the Prime Minister's resigned, the Second Republic is kicking off. I'm just saying, do you think this could be the start of a new era of peace for Paris? When is this? What was it, 1850s? Quite close to the Franco-Prussian War. I don't know. No idea, huh? Me neither. France has a scary, unwritten future ahead of it. But enough talk about politics, Sparrow Son. Let's go pick up some breakfast. Sounds good. I feel like pan au chocolat. Oh. Danse Macabre. There we go. Oh, and we've got brilliant music in the background for the credits. Brilliant. I kind of almost don't want to talk over this because I love this piece of music. Right, so yeah, I quite like this. Admittedly, my throat didn't because there's quite a few. Doing all the different voices has put on. I like the characters that they put twists on them so that they're not just standard, dare I say, French characters, but they've used the animals that are in the pictures to kind of give them to inform a bit of their character, which I think is really quite a nice element to it. I quite like the story. The first one I think was just kind of setting up like the game, and then after that, so the second, third, and fourth kind of set up the various aspects of like the second one. I think we met the king. And that led to the, and then we talked about the rebellion. I think did the rebels show up in the second one? They may have done. You reached the end of Route B, Égalité. The ending you received was determined by decisions you made in Chapter 3. What decisions did I make in Chapter 3? Try tackling the trial in the catacombs differently in order to see a different ending. Okay, so if we don't come up with the same thing, or we don't use the same evidence, or if we don't have some of the evidence, that can come out differently then. Okay, that's kind of cool. It'll be interesting to see what those are. I'm probably not going to replay it to get through the different endings. But it'd be interesting to see kind of what the storyline of each thing is. I quite like that. I assume they all end roughly the same way anyway, maybe? I don't know. So yeah, I quite like the storyline. It did seem to kind of flow and be coherent. There have been a few games where I've kind of been frustrated by a storyline that's not been brilliantly coherent. But this had all the little hints building up to it, and so the last one does make sense as a conclusion to the story we had. Thank you for playing Aviary Attorney. Thank you for making this game. You've just been in the credits, so thank you. It was really fun. We could load a previous day and restart it and give it another go potentially. I don't know what continue would do. I don't want to press it, just in case it breaks things. But yeah, so this was really fun. It was it wasn't quite like a visual novel, but it wasn't a pure deduction puzzle game. There were a few, like, Act 2, I'm still a bit frustrated by, in that the second act was, that was the one where it's kind of, they introduced Volpez as Juan Carrido, and you've not got a lot of evidence to work with, which did frustrate me, as should be apparent. But I think if they'd kind of made it clear you're not going to have a lot of evidence for this trial, that would have worked better. But it did kind of... Oh yeah, that did set up the rebels, because there's Romulus and you see Remus in a little cutscene together. So I think other than that one, where it's kind of this very different thing of you're lacking evidence and it gets pushed back and it gets delayed, it didn't feel great to me as a story, the second one. Overall, though, I think everything kind of did hang together very well. So that was quite... that's a great thing about it, and something you need to have in a game like this, which is very focused on the story. I mean, the two things that are central to this were story and deduction, and in Act 2, the deduction fell apart to some extent to allow for the story. I'd almost prefer it if, like, the first day you meet him, you have a bit of a chat with him, you get a few bits of evidence, and the trial just starts. And that allows you to set up that actually Romulus is a bad guy who's just trying to get things concluded very quickly, and then leads you into, okay, I need to find evidence for this before the next trial, rather than just kind of jumping in with, you've got a bit of time, but you can find basically nothing, which was a little frustrating. I wonder what happens, considering that's based on Act 3. The Act 4 you get is based on decisions in Act 3, in particular the trial in the catacombs. I wonder, can you fail any of the trials? I assume you can't. So that kind of getting the jury against you isn't really much of a penalty for asking the wrong questions. So I think if they'd not said that, I think I would have been a bit happier. But it just feels a bit weird to have a kind of a failed state that doesn't exist. Like, getting the jury against you and losing the trial, inverted commas, losing the trial, doesn't seem to make... There isn't a way to do... I don't think there's a way to do that, thinking about it. Because, I don't know. It just seems that there isn't. So yeah, this was quite fun as like a visual novelty type thing with game elements. That's one of the problems you can get with visual novels, is there's no game. Basically what you're doing is you're making a choice, and there's a branch, and you end up in a different branch doing a different thing with a slightly different story. Some of them that are romantic, you end up with a different partner, that kind of thing. Whereas in this game, there was a game to it, because you're trying to find this evidence to deduce things. And in some cases, if you take a certain action, if you make a certain choice, you block yourself out from getting evidence. And that was the case in Act 2 a couple of times. I think we lost some evidence for that. So there's a few different ways with that. I think this is actually a really fun game. I kind of like to see another one like this, but I don't think there are any more like this, which is kind of sad. I'll have to have a look and see if there is anything like this, and what to replace this with. But so as the credits said, thanks for playing. Well, for you guys, thanks for watching, and I hope you kind of enjoyed it as much as I did. I hope that my kind of frustration with Act 2 didn't put you off. I know that some people don't like it when I get angry and frustrated with games, and some people do. I don't know. Whatever. I hope the silly voices, or the losing of the silly voices as the game went on, didn't put you off. I hope you enjoyed it. So yeah. Thanks for watching, everyone. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.